Hi, I'm Jen Lehman, co-founder of Property Elite, chartered surveyor and APC assessor. At Property Elite, we provide training and support for the APC, Asset RICS and FRICS qualifications. We cover all routes, pathways and geographic regions via our team of specialist consultants and trained assessors. This also includes the senior professional, specialist, academic and direct entry routes. In this week's podcast, I take a look at some of the key points of the Agriculture Act 2020. This is essential listening for APC candidates on the rural pathway, as well as candidates on other pathways involved with rural or agricultural property or land. The Agriculture Act 2020 came into law on the 11th of November 2020. This followed the Agriculture Bill 2019 to 2021, which was published in January 2020. The Act makes key changes to the Agriculture Acts of 1986 and 1993, primarily in relation to the challenges posed by Brexit. The proposals will be formalised within future statutory instruments. The key measures include replacement agricultural support schemes and new approaches to farm payments and land management, together with wider measures to provide benefits to the agricultural markets and supply chain. There's 4 key aims: to increase competitiveness, productivity, and the use of technology, and to produce fairer returns. So today we're going to look at 3 of the key measures. And firstly, we're going to look at the financial support system that will replace the Basic Payment Scheme, BPS, and Countryside Stewardship Scheme. So at present, the BPS provides financial support to the farming industry based on the quantum of land farmed. These are also known as direct support payments. BPS is being phased out between 2021 and 27, with payments being delinked to the amount of land occupied or farmed between 24 and 27. Farmers may be offered a lump sum payment scheme in 22 in lieu of annual BPS or D-link payments from 24. The Countryside Stewardship Scheme will be available until 24, with new applications being accepted until the end of 23. New schemes are being introduced by the Agriculture Act 2020, including the Environmental Land Management Scheme, ELMS, new grants and a new approach to farming regulation and enforcement. In 2021, the first changes will include removal of greening rules such as crop diversification, ecological focus areas and permanent grassland retention, the first reductions to the BPS based on set percentages and payment bands, improvements to cross-compliance rules such as targeting high-risk areas, additional schemes and grants being introduced which will be funded through reduced BPS payments such as the Farming Investment Fund and Slurry Investment Scheme, and finally existing schemes will be improved. Further consultation will be undertaken to consolidate the changes within future statutory instruments. Under the ELMS, farmers and land managers will enter into paid agreements to deliver the following public goods: clean and plentiful water, clean air, thriving plants and wildlife, environmental hazard protection, reduction of climate change, and environmental beauty, heritage and engagement. The ELMS will therefore provide a renewed focus on the UK's net carbon 2050 goal, as well as supporting the rural economy and working towards DEFRA's 25-year environmental plan. The ELMS will include 3 individual schemes. Under the Sustainable Farming Initiative, farmers will be paid to manage their land in an environmentally sustainable way based on a set of standards. It will pilot in 21 and launch in 22. The Local Nature Recovery Scheme will support local nature recovery and environmental priorities. It will pilot in 2022 and launch in 24. And finally, landscape recovery, supporting long-term projects to support landscape and ecosystem recovery, such as tree planting or salt marsh restoration. It'll pilot in 22 and launch in 24. In relation to food security reporting, the government will have a duty to report to Parliament. It'll commence in 21 and will be required on a 3-year rolling basis. And finally, what changes will affect Agricultural Holdings Act 1986 tenancies? So the 86 Act was a consolidating act that regulated existing and new agricultural tenancies until the introduction of the Agricultural Tenancies Act 1995. The aim of the AHA was to provide long-term security and protection to tenants who invest or grow crops on agricultural land. Tenancies created before the 31st of August 95 are classed as AHA 1986 tenancies. As the Act provided for both security of tenure and succession, there are still a significant number of AHA tenancies in existence. It's now not possible to create new AHA tenancies except in very limited scenarios. The Agriculture Act 2020 makes a key number of changes affecting 1986 tenancies. These include rent review. An explicit disregard has been introduced relating to any written agreement requiring a tenant to pay for a landlord's productivity improvements to the holding. The choice of third-party appointment bodies has also been broadened to include the RICS, Central Association of Agricultural Valuers, and the Agricultural Law Association. In terms of succession, the minimum age for an application for a succession to be made upon retirement has been removed. Previously, it was 65. Next, the commercial unit test has been removed and the suitability test has been replaced with the business competency test. For county council holdings, AHA tenancies can only be terminated when the tenant reaches pensionable age rather than the prescribed age of 65 previously. And finally, in terms of change of use and alterations, a tenant can request that a landlord varies the tenancy to allow for a change of use or alterations, promoting farm diversification and access to government funding schemes. That's it for today's podcast. Remember, you can book in your free 15-minute consultation via our website. We can also provide feedback on your referral or prelim review report. If you head to our website, you can also access our other free support resources, including our ebook guides, podcasts, videos, quizzes, blog, and CPD newsletter. We can't wait to work with you, so thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.